In Negril right now, you can book a 5-star hotel, fly first class, and walk onto one of the best beaches in the world. And still go home to a house where the pipe runs twice a week. That is Western Jamaica's reality. Hoteliers spending hundreds of millions trucking water. Residents lining up with buckets and drums. 40-year-old pipes trying to serve a 2026 tourism economy and failing. So when you hear that the government has just dropped €144 million, that's roughly over 24 billion Jamaican dollars on a water mega project for the West, you have to ask, is this the fix we've been waiting on, or just another big contract that never reaches my tap? Because this time, the job has gone to France's VINCI, one of Europe's biggest construction giants, to dig up 130 kilometers of road and rebuild the backbone of Western Jamaica's water system. Today, we're unpacking where that money is going, what VINCI is actually building, and whether this project can really transform Jamaica's water future. Before we dive into millions of euros and French engineering, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Western Jamaica has a serious water problem. And I'm not talking about pipe gone for 2 hours and comes back later. I'm talking about chronic, systemic water failure that has been destroying lives and livelihoods for years. Here's what's been happening. In Negril alone, hoteliers spent over 200 million Jamaican dollars in just a few months in 2024, buying trucked water during the drought crisis, about 50% more than their regular water bills. Small hotels and guesthouses were bleeding money just to keep toilets flushing and showers running. Residents in Negril went up to a month without adequate water supply in early 2024. Business owners were terrified about potential health crises. People couldn't shower properly, couldn't flush toilets, couldn't live normal lives. The Negril Chamber of Commerce president was so frustrated she talked about suing the NWC because the situation had become so desperate. And this isn't unique to Negril. Communities across St James, Hanover, and Westmoreland have been dealing with rotating lock-offs, low pressure, and unreliable supply for decades. So why is this happening? The truth is brutal. We're trying to run a 2026 economy on 1980s backbone infrastructure. Those main transmission pipes carrying water from treatment plants like Martha Brae and Great River were installed in the early 1980s. They're corroded, too small, and literally bursting underground, wasting millions of gallons before water even reaches your community. When those pipes were laid, nobody predicted the massive boom in tourism and housing we'd see, the explosion of all-inclusive hotels, Airbnbs up and down the coast, housing developments and business plazas in and around Montego Bay and Negril. The system was never designed for the demand we're putting on it today. And climate change is making everything worse. Droughts are getting more severe, rainfall is more unpredictable, and dry seasons are longer and harsher. This is the crisis that the Western Water Resilience Program was created to solve. Here's the big development. On February 2, 2026, Jamaica's National Water Commission officially awarded a massive contract to VINCI Construction Grands Projects, a French infrastructure giant, to execute Phase 1 of the Western Water Resilience Program. Let's break down what this contract actually involves. The money, total contract value, €144 million, approximately 24 billion Jamaican dollars. This sits inside a larger 67 billion Jamaican dollars Western Resilience Water Project focused on the Northwestern Corridor. The work, installing 68 kilometers of brand new, wide-diameter cast iron pipelines. Works extending across about 130 kilometers of roads in Western Jamaica. These aren't small community pipes, these are the main transmission highways that everything else depends on. The timeline, construction period, 36 months or 3 years. Over 100 workers will be mobilized, plus subcontractors and local partners. Design service life of the new mains, 50+ years lasting into the 2070s if properly maintained. The project focuses on 2 critical transmission lines, Martha Brae Water Treatment Plant in Trelawny to the Terminal Reservoir in St James. Great River Water Treatment Plant in St James to Negril, Westmoreland. These routes are the backbone of Western Jamaica's water supply. Fix these, and suddenly every community, every hotel, every business that branches off them has a stronger, more reliable source. Now you might be asking, why are we trusting a French company with such a critical piece of our infrastructure? Let's talk about VINCI. VINCI Construction Grands Projects is not some unknown contractor. They're part of the VINCI Group, a global infrastructure powerhouse with around 285,000 employees operating in more than 120 countries. They build bridges and tunnels, airports and ports, and large-scale water systems. But here's what most Jamaicans don't know. VINCI has been working in Jamaica for over 25 years. Since the late 1990s, they've partnered with the National Water Commission on major projects and, by their own estimates, have been involved in works tied to a large share of Jamaica's treated water production over time. Their Jamaican track record includes water projects in Kingston such as Constant Spring and Mona, treatment plant upgrades in Falmouth and Ocho Rios, multi-use networks in Port Antonio, emergency repairs after hurricanes and floods. And right now, they're also building the Rio Cobra Water Treatment Plant in St. Catherine, the third largest drinking water treatment plant on the island. That facility will treat about 15 million imperial gallons per day and pump it into newly replaced pipelines serving Kingston, Portmore, and Spanish Town. They even did emergency repair work after Hurricane Melissa in 2025 to help restore drinking water to parts of Montego Bay. So when the government says, we need a company that can design and build a massive, complex water project quickly and reliably, VINCI is one of the most experienced options on the table. But experience alone doesn't guarantee success. The real question is, will this project actually benefit ordinary Jamaicans or just look good on paper? Let's get real about what this project is supposed to deliver to your tap. If everything goes according to plan, here's what should change. 1. More water entering the system. The Western Water Resilience Program is expected to add around 35 million gallons of additional water capacity island-wide, through upgrades at the Martha Brae Treatment Plant, expansion of facilities at Great River, Roaring River, and Logwood. More treatment capacity plus bigger mains means more water actually reaching western parishes instead of being lost or bottlenecked at the plant. 2. Fewer leaks, fewer bursts. Right now, some of the worst water loss happens in those old transmission mains. Water is literally leaking into the ground before it reaches anyone. By replacing them with brand new, correctly sized pipes, the NWC expects to cut non-revenue water, that's water produced but never billed. Reduce those constant, bus pipe, emergencies. Deliver more stable pressure, especially at higher elevations. 3. Stabilizing the tourism belt. The North Coast Tourism Corridor Negril, Lucea, Montego Bay and Falmouth has been screaming about water for years. This program specifically targets these areas because tourism is critical to Jamaica's economy. Hotels employ thousands of Jamaicans. Water failure damages Jamaica's international reputation. New investments simply cannot survive without basic infrastructure. When hotels in Negril stop spending 200 million Jamaican dollars on trucked water in 2 months, that money can go into better wages, better facilities, and more jobs. 4. Relief for ordinary residents. Most important of all, everyday Jamaicans get reliable water. Communities in St James, Hanover, and Westmoreland should finally break free from the endless cycle of waiting on water trucks. Living off drums and barrels. Planning life around lock-off schedules. Bathing and cooking at odd hours, before water gone. If this works, you turn on your tap, and water actually flows consistently. That's the promise. There's another critical layer to this project: climate change. Both the government and VINCI describe this €144 million investment as a climate resilience project, meaning it should help Western Jamaica survive future droughts and extreme weather. How is this possible? Reduced leaks mean the system holds more water when reservoirs are low. Increased treatment capacity means plants can push more water into the network during wet seasons and store more for the dry months. Stronger, modern pipes are better able to handle pressure changes and heavy rainfall events. And this isn't happening in isolation. While VINCI works in Western Jamaica, they're also constructing the Rio Cobra water treatment plant in St. Catherine, adding 15 million gallons per day to serve Kingston, Portmore, and Spanish Town. Put these projects together and you see a pattern. Jamaica is quietly undergoing a major water infrastructure overhaul. The question is, are we managing this wave of projects in a way that truly benefits Jamaicans long term? Now let's talk about the uncomfortable truth. Big projects in Jamaica don't always go smoothly. Here are the risks we need to keep our eyes on. 1. Delays and cost overruns. 3 years is the target. But anyone who's lived in Jamaica knows 3 years can easily become 5, or more. Look at the Rio Cobra project, originally budgeted at around $76 million in 2022. By late 2024, costs had reportedly climbed to about $92 million, roughly a 21% increase. The interest rate tied to that arrangement jumped from 9.5% to over 15%, sparking serious concerns from financial experts. If that can happen to one major water project, it's fair to ask, could the same thing happen here? 2. Traffic and disruption nightmare. Digging up 130 kilometers of road is no joke. Along busy corridors between Montego Bay and Negril, residents and businesses will be dealing with long delays and dust, noise, and limited access to homes and shops. People will need clear work schedules, proper road reinstatement after pipes go in, fair treatment and communication when works block entrances or affect business. 3. Environmental concerns. Even with NEPA overseeing things, there are risks, river crossings being mishandled, landslides on steep slopes, new drainage problems if roads aren't properly rebuilt. Climate resilience means protecting both water supply and the environment, not sacrificing one for the other. 4. Transparency and accountability. This is where Jamaicans have to stay vigilant. We deserve regular, public updates. Which sections are completed? How much money has been spent so far? What percentage of the work is done? Are local companies and workers actually benefiting? Recent investigative reports by outlets like 18 Degrees North have raised serious questions about transparency on big infrastructure contracts, including access to PPP details on past projects. When projects go quiet, that's when cost overruns, delays, and bad decisions get buried. 5. Local jobs and contracts. VINCI says they'll mobilize over 100 workers and work with local partners. But promises about local benefits are famous in Jamaica and famous for being broken. We need to pay attention to how many Jamaican engineers, welders, heavy equipment operators, and laborers are getting real, long-term work, where the materials are being sourced locally where possible, whether residents of Western parishes are getting priority for jobs and contracts. So, will this €144 million VINCI water mega project truly transform Jamaica? On paper, it has everything we've been begging for: modern pipelines replacing 40-year-old infrastructure, increased treatment capacity, focus on the areas that need it most, a projected 50-year lifespan. But the real test isn't the contract signing or the ribbon cutting. The real test will be 5 years from now, when the next drought hits, and we see whether Negril hotels still have to truck water, communities in Hanover still line up at standpipes, families in St. James still go to bed with dry pipes. If, by then, water flows reliably through the taps of ordinary Jamaicans, not just tourists, then this VINCI project will be remembered as a turning point in Jamaica's history. If not, it becomes just another beautiful press release that never reached your home. Now I want to hear from you. Do you live in St James, Hanover, or Westmoreland? Drop your parish in the comments. If this breakdown helped you understand what's really happening with Jamaica's water future, hit that like button so more Jamaicans can see this. Share this video with someone in Western Jamaica. And subscribe to Evolve Jamaica, because we're going to keep following this project, and every major infrastructure project reshaping our island. We'll track the progress, expose the problems, and hold everyone accountable. Thanks for watching.